Do you get confused by conflicting diet advice? Why is it so hard to find diet advice that doesn't change? Immersing myself in this space gets exhausting and discouraging at times. One day, I'm sure that I have all the answers, the next day, I'm questioning everything. Unfortunately, that's the way I think it's always going to be. I don't care what anybody says, the human body is the most complex system that we'll ever try to study. Different circumstances like diet, exercise, climate, oxygen, etc., take the body to a different place. That's why a different set of advice will give you a different result. The problem is, we try to have it all. Unfortunately, we can't always get the best of everything all the time. Complexity leads to confusion. Complexity and confusion is at the core of what keeps the health and nutrition industry running. The more you hear conflicting diet advice, the more confused you are. The more confused you are, the more sporadically you buy useless supplements and programs. Diet advice should never be one size fits all. We all need to stand up and take our fate into our own hands. Instead of looking for what worked for others, we need to find out what works for us. And depending on what we're looking to accomplish, what works for us will look different. So what does it mean to live healthy? That all depends on the context. Healthy living can mean many things. Diet advice will look different depending on what you need or want. As I continue on my health journey, I uncover more and more paths that I could take that are still considered healthy. The prime example of two contradicting paths is longevity and muscle gain. In the case of longevity and muscle gain, the diet advice is opposite to one another, even though both are considered healthy paths. To put on muscle, you have to eat a lot, especially protein. Basically, your main objective is to train hard and increase as many growth factors as possible. Problem is, in the context of longevity, increasing these growth factors increases the chance of cancer growth as well. So fasting is great for longevity since it suppresses these growth factors, something that's not going to help build muscle. Muscle mass is preserved while fasting, but not necessarily built. So it all depends on your needs. If you need to build functional strength and muscle mass, that should be your first priority. Although you decrease your longevity by doing this, it's probably worth it. Not having functional strength takes from your quality of life. What's the point of longevity if the quality of life is low? Conclusion. As you can see, there's a lot more at play than you might have originally thought. Diet advice shouldn't be thrown around like it applies to everyone. We need to ask ourselves what we find important. And on top of that, we shouldn't beat ourselves up if we're not perfect. Choosing to apply tactics from a different health strategy may fit your lifestyle better. Your goals should change throughout your life. Take care of the most important component of your health and focus on that first. Once you conquer it, you can move on to the next goal. Your health is complicated, but maybe your desires are unrealistic. Focus on one component at a time and don't worry about the rest. This will reduce the amount of confusion you subject yourself to. Thanks for listening to this article. If you enjoyed it, you can find more like it at www.banafit.com. That's www.banafit.com.